Hey y'all, Chef Dave here. Welcome to my kitchen, where I'm going to show you how to make great meals for your family. I'm excited to be a part of your culinary journey. Let's have fun. Today we're going to make a mushroom risotto. I've got all my ingredients and my equipment set out. Let's walk through that. Here on the stove I have a 12-inch stainless steel skillet. Here are my ingredients. I have 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, 20 grams of shallot, 90 grams of mushrooms. They're baby bellas or cremini mushrooms. I have 1 cup of arborio rice. I have 1 quart of chicken stock, 32 ounces. I have 4 ounces or half a cup of dry white wine. I have 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. You can use vegetable oil or whatever you have on hand. And 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my chicken stock warm. It needs to be warm for this method. And risotto is not a rice, it's a cooking method. You use arborio rice to make risotto. I'm going to get my stainless steel pan hot, because we're going to get the pan hot and then we're going to saute our shallots. Okay, how do I know my pan's hot? If it's dry, you take a little bit of water, you can drip it in there, and if it immediately boils away, you know that it's at least 212 degrees or higher, because that's the temperature at which water boils. Then we're going to add our oil. We're going to just cover the bottom of the pan. We're not deep frying anything, we're just covering the bottom of the pan. So you may not use all of the oil, depending on the size of your pan. So when the oil is hot, it's going to start shimmering, and you'll see it shimmering. You can move it back and forth, and you'll see like legs, like on a wine glass. When you swirl the glass around and it leaves the legs on the wine glass, you'll see that, and you'll know that it's hot enough. Okay, my oil's hot enough. I'm going to add my shallots. You should hear that nice sizzle. Love that sound. I'm going to cook those for just a second. I'm going to put my mushrooms in. Cook them along with the shallots. Or shallots if you're British or Australian. We're just going to cook these down a little bit. The mushrooms are going to release some of their water. So is the onions or the shallot. You can use onions if you don't have a shallot. We're just going to let those saute for a minute until they shrink a little bit in size and release some more of their water. You can see how the mushrooms have reduced down a little bit and released some of their water. So I'm going to add in all my arborio rice all at once, and we'll stir it around. And I'm going to let this cook just like it is, and it's going to start absorbing some of that liquid left from the oil, the mushrooms, the shallots, and the wine. So I'm just going to stir it up. And let it sit. Okay, my rice is soaked up most of the liquid. You can see, because I can see the bottom of the pan is dry. So we're going to start adding the hot chicken stock. So I've got a ladle. I'm just going to put a couple of ladles in here at a time after I pour it all over the stove. And I'm going to let that rice absorb the chicken stock until it's almost dry. And then I'm going to continue adding chicken stock and doing the same process until the rice has absorbed all that it can and it's done. We'll have to taste it. But it usually takes about 20 minutes to make a risotto. Okay, the risotto has started absorbing the liquid. You see how I can pull it away? You can see the bottom of a dry pan. That's when it's time to start adding more sauce. You can bring your pan over, it's a lot easier. A couple more ladles of chicken stock. Stir it in. Let it set uninterrupted for a little bit until you think you need to check it. And then we will continue that until it's done. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna check for doneness, and the only way to check for doneness is to taste it. You want to make sure that the rice is all the way cooked through, but it's not mush. That's really good. That's pretty much al dente where I want it. So I'm not going to add any more liquid right now. I'm going to let this finish cooking down, and then we'll add the butter and the cheese. Okay, pretty much all of the liquid's absorbed. So I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir that in a little bit. Butter is just, it makes everything better. It adds a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of flavor. It's just good. It's like the chicken stock. I don't use water when I make rice unless I have to cook for a vegan, because water has no taste unless you're probably living in a place where the water's bad. So anyway, I use chicken stock or any kind of stock, anything with flavor. You want to build levels of flavor to add. I'm going to turn the fire off. Levels of flavor in your food so that it's not just plain. So that's getting pretty thick right there. I'm going to add my Parmigiano Reggiano and stir it in. The hot rice is going to melt my Parmigiano Reggiano. You can use any cheese you want, really. I mean, it's up to you. Parmigiano Reggiano is my favorite. It's not cheap. And also, the finer that you grate it, the quicker it will incorporate and melt. I prefer to use freshly grated cheese, because if you buy the stuff that's already grated, it's got a coating on it to keep it from sticking together, and that's often what it tastes like to me. It doesn't taste like cheese, it tastes like that coating. So here is my mushroom risotto. Let's plate it up. Alright, here's what my mushroom risotto looks like. It's a beautiful thing. I want to get all that goodness out of the pan that you can. And there you go. Mushroom risotto. This is a huge plate. It's not just for me, but I need to taste it. So creamy. Rice is perfect. I hope you enjoy this at home. Try it out. Have fun. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're inspired to make something great. Good day and God bless.